can cut. Save it for the recording.
I guess this is my show. My name's Dominic. We're with the Cheap Seats. I guess it's not a podcast because this is sort of just a nightly Las Vegas recap. So it's good to be with you. I'm going to put this on our page. I am here with two of my good friends in the program. We got Caleb Nixon to my left, Kaycee Clark-Mellott to my right. Casey's my roommate here. So we are in an undisclosed room on the Grand Tower of the MGM Grand. I will say that. So don't come trying to find us. But we are here in Las Vegas. It is the second night of us being here, but this is the first night we're going to come to you because we didn't have much to talk about last night in terms of football, but today we got our fix with the football. We got into the media availabilities for both the Kansas City Chiefs this morning, so Caleb went to, so he's a tired man. That was early in the morning. He'll tell you, man. Yeah, he'll tell you all about that. And then Kaycee and I went to the San Francisco 49ers media availability in the afternoon. Both were way out toward Lake Mead, which is about 30-40 minute drive out with the buses. Vegas traffic is not looking great right now, so we'll get into that in a second. But boys, it's good to have you on the show.
Glad to be here.
Excited to have you on. I know it's been crazy, getting acclimated with school and everything, but it's nice to be out here. But thanks for coming on, guys.
Absolutely, we're excited to talk Vegas and football. Super Bowl week, man.
Oh, it's a dream. It's been a surreal experience. As everyone knows, my 49ers are in the Super Bowl. They're taking on the Chiefs. This Sunday, we got out here yesterday. We flew in. It was a little rainy out here in Vegas. Some puddles everywhere, but we got in safely, got to the hotel safely, picked up our credentials, got to see the whole operation, got to be insiders for a little bit down on Radio Row. I guess it's called the Media Center now, in the convention center in the Mandalay Bay, or Mandalay Casino, Mandalay Hotel Resort, whatever they call it now. So it was really cool to be on the inside, meet some folks. But yeah, how's your experience been? We'll start with Kaycee. Yeah. Any thoughts from Vegas so far, just in general?
I mean, I've been to Vegas before. It's Vegas, right? Like, I feel like everyone, if you've been to Vegas, you know what Vegas is. And it's about that. I feel like today it's getting a lot more crazy. There's a lot more people, already from yesterday to today, it seems, in the casinos and just out and about. But yeah, it's been fun so far. Like you said, surreal is a great way to put it. Oh, yeah. Being around all these media personalities that you see on TV or you read, and that's been a great time, just being able to see them and be around them as well as the players and everything like that.
Everyone's here. Everyone is here. Everyone on the planet Earth is here. Caleb, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Kaycee hit it spot on. Got back from the Chiefs this morning. Vegas crowd usually still dead in the morning. Everybody's sleeping in. Go to the media room all day doing work, after breakfast and things. Kaycee, Zoe, Trevor, and I walk up, and it is just beyond packed. And we're walking back, getting back to the MGM and just walking through the casino. You can just tell, like Kaycee said, the crowd's already picking up. I think it's probably going to be the most packed Vegas has ever been this weekend by the time we get to probably even tomorrow or Friday. But it's good. It's Vegas, man. We're here to work. We're here to have fun. But it's been fun to talk to these reporters, talk to these NFL players, and excited to see it pick up through the weekend. Vegas will be alive, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's Wednesday night here, and it's already looking like a weekend, damn near. Everyone's got their NFL gear. Everyone's enjoying going to the fan experience, which is right next to kind of where the media center and that operations is set up. So when you walk into it, there's definitely big crowds, families going over there and having fun. So NFL, it's looking like the NFL because there's a lot of people love coming out here and enjoying what the NFL has to offer. They put on a big show, and Vegas wants to put on a big show. I know before we'll dive into what we have to do the interviews and talk to the players today. But what are your thoughts on? There's a media party that was held last night at the F1 hangar or whatever they call it, kind of right, actually really close to this hotel, but. It was typical Vegas. It was 3 levels of all-out show. You had dancers. You had Blue Man Group perform. You had lounge singers. You had all of Elvis impersonator sing an entire set of Elvis songs. It was everything Vegas had to offer. It had tables that you could play. We got in a poker game for no money, but it was fun. None of us won. Shout out Zoe Grossman who got the dub. who said she didn't know anything about poker, but maybe got some help from the dealer there. But it was great. But yeah, it's just surprising to see everywhere you go. You have the games, you have all the pageantry and everything that comes with Vegas. But I was surprised to see the level of detail, the decorations that you saw at each level of that party, and all the hors d'oeuvres, all the different things you could eat. It definitely went all out. I don't know what you guys thought of that.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good experience. I think I think we went in with a little bit more expectation that it was media, but I think it was very open to. I don't know about public, but just some fans that are here pre-week before the game itself, but. Yeah, I mean, as Dom said, there were multiple, I would say, atmospheres. I mean, there was kind of, different atmospheres representing the likes of Las Vegas. You had, like, the gambling floor, I would say the club floor on the third level. But then, you go downstairs and you got a bunch of food, some F1 stuff, considering they just had a race.
There's a couple cars down there.
Simulators. We had some people doing some simulators. So, yeah, I mean, it had everything to offer. I tell you what, the one thing I think we took advantage of most was the one time this week we'll get free drinks. So it was a good night. I mean, it was a good opening night. I think we were all a little bit tired, but I think we made the most of it and had a good time for what it was worth.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think seeing the Elvis impersonator perform, I think that was probably the highlight for me. Seeing his attempts at the legs and the hips and everything, it kind of made me understand why he was such a craze, like all the movement and stuff. But
we wouldn't know, man. We only get the impersonation, but
no.
They try.
But no, great night. Really cool to see some of the F1 cars, some like NASCAR cars as well. The Richard Petty race car, that was a cool one to see. But yeah, just a great time in general.
Yeah, Vegas definitely knows how to throw a party, so that was fun to be a part of. So that was yesterday. We came into town, like I said, picked up credentials, kind of got the lay of the land. Got started on sort of the reporting that we're trying to do down here. Trying to put together some stories to give to people while we're the boots on the ground on the inside. But let's get to today. So, Caleb, let's talk about media availability today. Obviously, we woke up much later because the Niners was a little late in the afternoon. But you woke up bright and early to go to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
How was it?
Like I said, when you wake up before your alarm goes off, it's going to be a good day. So just got up early, about 4:20 in the morning.
Oh, easy. 4:20.
Oh, yeah. Got a good start to the day. Got in the shower and just had to get the coffee before, too. But walked through the casinos, had the bare bones people out there. A few people still living from the night
true
before.
Degenerates at 4:35 in the morning. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. But, yeah, we took the bus out there like we talked about. Honestly, a pretty good ride. You got some views of the mountains and a scene in between Las Vegas and that Henderson area. The hotels were nice. The area, Lake Las Vegas, was pretty nice itself. Some housing plus the hotels. Really cool area. But, yeah, we got in the Chiefs. We were the first bus in there. And, of course, the first people that got off the bus, first thing to do was dart to Travis Kelce's podium and surround that with cameras because that's what everybody wants to hear about right now. But, myself got sent up for interview with Drew Tranquil. Fort Wayne, Indiana, hometown for me.
Shout out.
Got to go home this past weekend and talk to his family, talk to his brother's parents.
Awesome.
Told me some good stories about him. So my priority was to get to Tranquil's table and set my camera up and did. And he was a great guy. Great family as a whole. Very, very interested to talk about their son. So it was very cool. He gave me some great stories too, some great sound bites. Maybe we could talk about it at the end. But good experience overall. Got the story written up. My editor, number one editor here, Casey, before Rachel and JA, number one editor first. But hopefully that'll get posted soon by hometown publishers. So.
Can't wait to see it. Drew Tranquil, Notre Dame alum.
Notre Dame alum, yeah. Grew up watching him too. I remember watching him at Notre Dame. But first player from his high school too to be in the NFL. Therefore in the Super Bowl as well. Their coach was very appreciative. They came in actually the same year, 2010. I think he got hired, and Drew Tranquil was a freshman. So kind of went through that together, and taking off from there. But cool story, man.
That was great. So you said Travis was the main attraction.
He was, yeah. I mean, you walk in.
Did you catch any of it?
I did. I went over and was listening for a little bit. I think 2 of the 4 questions I stayed for were about Taylor. There were other two were about football or some more related topics. But like we've talked about, man, I feel a little bad for the man. He's great with the media. You can tell. He's had to have some good media training. Somebody told him, Taylor's going to bring you some attention, but you just got to stay calm. And he does. I mean, he does a great job. I applaud him for the way he handles it because I don't know if I could handle it. All the questions he gets asked.
I think he knew what he signed up for
He
a
did.
little bit.
Yeah. He's brought. He's talked about. It's very interesting. Just the fact that he's accepting the new audience that he's brought the Chiefs. I think he said something this week. I'm starting to realize the difference of being Kansas City famous and like worldwide famous. I mean, because Taylor Swift is a worldwide phenomenon. I mean, there's no denying that. So when you bring in that audience, it's a whole new audience for him. So it's cool to see. I am a little sick and tired of the questions. Like,
I'm sure he is too.
Oh, he is.
But I mean, the cool thing about Travis is he's so cool about it. I feel like he's such a good sport. He's classy. He's, like you said, has media training. I feel like him and his brother, their podcast sounds like they've been doing it for years, and they've only been doing it, I think, a couple of years. But it sounds like this is what they're, they got trained in doing.
Yeah.
So this is, shout out to him
for sure.
for being able to roll with all the same version of the same question a million times this week. So I'm sure that was fun for you to get to see a part of. But good for Travis. Any particular questions that stuck out for you that were?
We were talking about it earlier, but somebody asked him who's getting a ring first, Taylor Swift or the San Francisco 49ers, and he just chuckled it off. He laughed it off, as he should, and just said, I'm focused on winning the game Sunday, so respect. What else is he going to say to that, man? I mean, you can't convince a guy to get married to a girl he's been dating for 4 months.
I stand by the idea that they're just trying to get some advice and insight into the betting on if he's going to propose after the game.
That's why you asked the question.
You guys seen the Taylor Swift props everywhere? I mean, it's like Travis Kelce touchdown and yards, but then it's also like
I saw if she's mentioned in the MVP, like the MVP of the Super Bowl getting
they're
trophy.
they're trying to relate it to her songs, like it was her albums, maybe like something about 22, like. I don't know, man. It's just
foremost Taylor Swift experts right here.
And it's good marketing. To say the least, the sports books are marketing. I mean, who knows? Maybe Swifties will put $10 in their DraftKings account and throw $10 on the Taylor Swift bet. It's marketing.
All right. So Killer Trav was the highlight. You got to your main guy was tranquil, so it's great. You got some real good time with him. Good questions getting asked. Any other highlights of the Chiefs media availability? I know. So the big guy, Andy Reid, and Patrick Mahomes kind of in their own area, the big sections. But who else did you get to talk to today?
Yeah, Nick Bolton was another good one, another linebacker for the Chiefs. He's been there for 3 years now, I believe. Just good to talk to him, get his perspective on welcoming in Drew Tranquill this offseason. Willie Gay was another, got to talk to George Karlaftis. He's from Purdue, another Indiana. I think he's from around that area too. So.
Damn.
Stuck around for a little bit of Isaiah Pacheco. He's a fun back to watch.
He's got an interesting personality, that guy. I didn't realize that. I was watching that opening night stuff, but
he's a fun guy to just listen to talk. I mean, I just saw opening night. He got tossed a luchador mask and just immediately put it on. Well,
speaking of, I mean, another one right next to my Tranquill piece was Kadarius Toney.
Oh man,
he showed up, sunglasses on. I think Zoe said he had a grill in, so it was funny. We get there and everyone's getting set up for their shots. Whoever's at the tables first gets it. ESPN has a mic right in the table, and they have 2 chairs set up for the 2 people at that table. Like, they reorganized the whole table, and we're like, they really want to ask Tony if he's actually hurt.
They're there for the drama.
ESPN's there for the drama.
Just like
respect, again.
Just like the folks going over to Travis and asking the questions that everybody wants to hear about.
That was funny.
Can't blame him.
Might have been asking about the coyote.
Oh yeah, who got attacked?
I feel like
theory.
What was that report? I don't understand that.
It said that someone got attacked, but when we have heard about that,
we would have known the player.
There's 6,000 media members here in Vegas for this.
We were talking about this too. The beat reporters are very loyal.
Yeah.
They understand the game. Yeah. If somebody wasn't there, one of the beat reporters would have caught it. They
Yeah.
would have caught it, and I don't know if that was a fake report.
I feel like the report went from they probably saw coyotes and everything around.
And there's
area.
videos of that.
And of course, I mean, it's the desert and stuff. Yeah. But how it progressed, it was just like the game of Whisper Where
Yeah.
like the story just changes completely.
You know the memes were it was Tony.
Gotta love it.
Because he's hired Andy Reid telling hiding it up. They can't afford any more drop balls this year.
Maybe we'll find out more in the next couple days, so we'll keep everybody updated. Last thing on the Chiefs, so obviously they've been in, this is their 4th Super Bowl in the last 5 years, 6 straight AFC Championship games.
Yeah.
Did this feel like a team that's been there before and is kind of just, I guess I'm not going through the motions, but they don't seem fazed by all the media attention they're getting in this setting?
Yeah, it was good to talk to Tranquil because it was his first. So it's all new to him. So that was kind of cool to have that perspective as well, not just from hometown, but also first Super Bowl. But yeah, I mean, you go around to the other guys. Jawan Taylor was another one on the podium, and Joe Tooney, Patriots as well. He's been in plenty. But yeah, you just go around to Travis. You go around even Pacheco. I saw a stat today. Pacheco's 6-0 in the playoffs. You don't think about that, but he was a rookie last year. He didn't lose. He hasn't lost this year. So these guys have been through it, and it's not like they're going through the motions. But I think the best way to describe it is they're a little more laid back. Yeah, some people might, as they're new to this stage, they might be a little hesitant with the media. These guys have been through it, which is good for us in a sense. They're a little more open. They know what to share and more comfortable just because they've been through it before. So I think it's an advantage for us. It was a good experience.
Great answers.
Yeah, definitely.
I guess that's life playing with Patrick Mahomes. You just get used to it. Used to being on this stage. So good stuff.
Absolutely. Let's hear the Niners.
Good for you. Waking up early in the morning, going out there.
Do it again tomorrow.
Do it again tomorrow. So we'll get this wrapped up for you so you can go to bed. The 49ers, Casey and I went out there. So same area, like Las Vegas. Nice kind of development out there. Kind of it's about east of the Strip. So it's not in town. So it's about 30 minutes away. It was in a basement of a casino. I would say basement, but it's just down on the ground. It's a little dimly lit, kind of like a wine cellar vibes. An interesting kind of backdrop to the media availability for the 49ers, which similar to the Chiefs, I'm sure, just in terms of setup, is you have head coach, quarterback typically go and they start and they do 15 minutes of kind of a normal presser, I guess, with the full media scrum. They start that off, and then all of the other active players and inactive and practice squad guys come out. And they sit at certain tables kind of all throughout the area. There's different podiums, I guess, for the more big-time players. So you can kind of get in there. You pick and choose who you want to talk to. You want to, if you're in the media, you want to get to the player. You want to kind of stake out your territory at the player you want to talk to the most. But then after that, it's kind of a free-for-all. You go to the next table. You go to whoever you want to talk to, head coach, assistant coaches, any player that you want. So it kind of keeps you on your toes a little bit, Casey. But I know I want to talk about who you talked to because you're a Wyoming guy. You're from Wyoming. You went to the University of Wyoming. Who did you talk to today? Who are you kind of doing a deep dive on here in Las Vegas?
Yeah, so I had been watching the Bills in the playoffs. I've been wanting that Josh Allen story. Big guy, big known player played for Wyoming and everything. That didn't work out. But when the Niners make it, Tashawn Gibson, the safety who signed with the 49ers last year, played at Wyoming back in the early 2010s, right at the end of the 2000s. Great player at Wyoming, made the transition from corner to safety his last year as kind of a way to not get benched by the coachings. I just got to sit down, talk to him about his 12-year career in the NFL, how it's kind of been an up and down, as well as like his role on the team as kind of a leader and kind of a vet in such a young group of guys in the DB room. And so that was a great time. And then I found another connection to Wyoming as well. Unknowingly, I didn't do my research. And I talked to Coach Bullocks, the DB coach for the 49ers. Found out he was coached under former, now retired, Coach Craig Bohl from Wyoming when Coach Bohl was at Nebraska in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
So I had a little pin,
cowboy pin,
cowboy pin, the steamboat, and he saw that and kind of pointed it out, asked if I was from Wyoming or went there, and we just kind of hit it off then. Yeah.
This is Wyoming connection.
This is the most Wyoming talk we've done on this program, so that's why I'm thrilled to have Casey here. So that's a great, person. You have Tayshaun as your point, and obviously he's been a big leader for this 49ers defensive backfield, particularly the safeties, where they have young guys like Jair Brown, who's been thrust in the starting role because Talanoa Hufanga, who was there in good spirits, who I did see towards ACL earlier this year, unfortunately. But he's a young guy. He was an All-Pro last year, but he's still a young guy in this league. So having the kind of steady veteran presence of Tayshaun seems to have been a good thing, and it's been cool to see him came in for Jimmy Ward, who got hurt in the off season last year before the 49ers started their season. So that's kind of why they brought in Tayshaun Gibson, who's been a vet, just been just a solid player at safety. So it's kind of how he got in here. It's just been cool to see him kind of lead that room, become a really I guess, resurgence in his career and never like he was really falling off, but he's been a strong player for the 49ers. So that's great you got to talk to him. Yeah, I mean, I guess I talked to Aaron Banks. He was a really good chat. I talked to his high school football coach, Kenny Kahn, who used to coach football at El Cerrito High School, which is where Aaron Banks went. I think he was my class or a year under me or below me in high school, so kind of around the same age. Kenny Kahn, his coach, had a lot of great things to say about him last week when I talked to him. He talked mostly about just who he is as a person outside of football. How he got to know him, what he did in high school. He was involved in a lot of great programs there, and it's just a good guy in the community. So I asked Aaron a lot about that. He had some great answers, talked about just how important it is for him to give back to the community that he grew up in the East Bay. He's a Bay Area guy, and how he just wants to be a role model for kids growing up in his area and just in the Bay in general, and loves repping the Bay Area. And now he's playing for the 49ers. I think he grew up a Raider fan, but he's playing for the Niners now, obviously, and he's repping the Bay Area in the Super Bowl. So I'd love to take that angle on that. But also we talked about, I think he's been asked a million times about playing next to Trent Williams on the left side of the 49ers O-line. So I asked him just kind of what made them so effective together on the left side of that 49ers O-line, which has been the strongest side of their line, dominant. When they want to get yards, they go that way. So I was interested to hear just kind of his side of everything. So he speaks very highly of Trent, obviously. Trent's been a good leader, but I think he talked about how they have sort of similar skill sets. They both approach the game similar way. They want to be physical. They want to get downfield. And I think Aaron's background as a basketball player in high school, actually, won 2 section titles with El Cerrito in basketball. Watch his highlights. He's got a lot of good footwork. Got a nice smooth stroke, too, so good post moves.
Yeah. Some basketball knowledge. I don't work in the post.
Yeah.
I appreciate a good thing, man.
Caleb, another high school basketball player as well, so you can appreciate that. But yeah, no, Aaron's got a really impressive kind of just his background in a bunch of different sports. So I think that particularly in basketball has helped him in this Shanahan system, where there's a lot of movement out, pulling. It's a outside zone run scheme where he has to get to different levels on the defense. Use his hands, but also use their footwork as well. So it was good to have that conversation with him. Talked to a bunch of other guys in the Niners availability. I think, again, I had some questions prepared for a number of guys, but when I saw somebody who was free, because I know the team, I guess, well enough to go up to somebody and just ask questions because I've been following them. So that was really cool to do. So I talked to Diamador Lenore, who I know you talked to as well today. He's actually a really great person to talk to. I think he gives you a lot of good insight. But I asked him about his relationship with Ambry Thomas, who they were both drafted together, Lenore and him, in I think it's 2021, but they both were in the same class. Thomas was picked 3rd round, I think, and Lenore in the 5th round. So I asked about their relationship, just kind of growing up on the 49ers together in this defensive backfield. They both kind of had to fight their way onto the starting, into the starting rotation, the defense, and now they're both starters on the defense. You have Ambry Thomas starting at corner, opposite of Charvarius Ward, and then you have Lenore starting at slot, which they play a lot of nickel coverage, the Niners do. So, and he's been a big piece of that. So talked about their relationship. They seem to be really close. He said they were very close. And I got to talk to Nick Sorensen, who's the nickel coach and the defensive passing guy for the 49ers. And he had some great insight into Lenore's growth and just how he fit into that nickel position where he started the season as the outside corner and came into the nickel position. So I got some good insight on that. You talked to Randy Gregory as well today. Had a good conversation with him.
Yeah, not even interviewing Randy. I was waiting for Demo actually. Just kind of was waiting there. He knew he was finishing up this interview, and it was Demo and Randy sitting at the table. Randy wasn't getting interviewed, so I was just standing there waiting. Looked at him and said, "How's it going, Randy? What's up?" And he kind of prepared to get interviewed, and I was like, "I'm not going to interview you. Don't worry." And so we just started chatting it up. He asked how I was doing, if I was stressed and stuff. And
the guy playing in the Super Bowl on Sunday is asking if you're stressed.
Nah, man, that's awesome. That's the best part. Like, put the mic away. Let's go off record for a second, man. Just talk, man to man. That's real cool.
I mean, it was just a complete honest kind of. I told him, I was like, I'm sure you're tired of all this. You just kind of want to get some sleep, relax a little, and
should have given you the Fishers, Indiana, man. That's another Indiana resident.
Man, a lot of Wyoming, a lot of Indiana on this show. This is great.
We're smaller states,
Hey, no.
Listen, 17 players from the state of California at the Super Bowl. That's most. 14 are on the Niners. Isn't that crazy?
Number one. And I got a lot
14 of the 17 players from California.
A lot of SoCal guys on the Niners. I think Lenor's one of them. He's an LA guy. So, yeah.
Probably some bias there a little bit.
That's why
no Wyoming players.
Yeah.
From Wyoming.
Yeah. We need more of those. Need more of those. But I talked to Colton McKivitz about, he loves hunting. He's a big hunting guy. So I talked to him about his passion and why he loves it so much. Also talked to him about, stepping into that right tackle role from Mike McGlinchey, who had been there for years for the Niners, and just what that mindset was like, getting prepared to take on that role. And he talked about, his first start this year was in Pittsburgh. He going up against TJ Watt, got beat for a couple sacks with him, and he's like, that rattled me a little bit, but I think as he kept going this year, he's got a lot more confidence. So had a great conversation with him. And some of the other guys, Javon Kinlaw, talked about just how he feels a lot more healthier now, and that being healthy in this last offseason helped him put a lot more good work into his season this year, and it feels like that's been a big difference for him, and how he's really put a career year together, I think, just being a rotation guy at the D tackle spot. So, a lot of great conversations.
Anything with CMC, any observations or questions in there today?
Good thing you asked. Yeah, he was kind of like the Travis Kelce of the Niners availability, I guess. People swarmed to his I guess, podium that he was at, and I caught a little bit of it, but I think McCaffrey as well. I mean, he's really good at answering all the questions. I think he takes things a little more seriously for sure with the questions, but he's a great guy. He gives you a lot of good insight.
I'm not sure I've actually heard him speak. I'm interested to do that tomorrow.
Yeah, check him out.
It was funny. I told you guys about that, but Drew Tranquil was, talking to me about that a little bit. He had a story from high school that his parents told me, his siblings told me about going up against another high school in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and 4-star they were going up against, and his family came up with the phrase "rock that chump." I don't know where that came from, but
is that CHUMP?
Rock that chump. Correct.
Chump. Yeah, okay, got it. What's the chump?
Yes,
I just wanted to make sure.
He said his mom put it on a T-shirt. His brothers were hyping him up for it. And he had 15 tackles against this big name player in his hometown. He wasn't being recruited at the time that he was a sophomore. He said, but
put him on the map.
It was funny. I asked him about that, and last thing he said, he did bring up McCaffrey. He said, we're going up against another good back, Christian McCaffrey. Gonna rock that chump again.
I know. Trash talk. Exclusive.
It's exclusive content here on the Cheap Seats. It's pretty crazy, man. I mean, hey, he doesn't seem like much of a trash talker, but we can get the tables.
Yeah, it's good because all these players are so. I think they're very respectful of the team they're facing, and they don't want to fan the flames. So maybe it's something we can ask McCaffrey about tomorrow when we're there.
I think so. What's interesting too is, when was this? We picked our trips. It was a few months ago, right?
Yeah, it's like October when we selected it.
What's crazy is I remember sitting here, at least talking to you, and I think of you too, is just if your team got here, man, how crazy is it just from day one to look back, in October, we were like, I'm picking this trip in hopes that this would happen.
I'm not one to manifest that much. I know people manifest all the time. People put it on their socials, and that's a big part of people's lives. I'm not one to do that, but for this is something I've manifested for a while, and it did feel very rewarding today.
We were chatting about it.
Yeah, I was talking to you about it.
I mean, we were picking our trips.
Yeah, man.
Dependent,
at that time I was very confident in the Niners, and then they went on a little losing streak, and then they got back. So I was confident in this team. I was like, it feels like this could be the year that they'll get back. And funny enough, they're here. So
That's awesome, man.
No,
I'm
it's-
glad it worked out this way. I don't think anything would be better than this rematch. I mean, it produced
that's
a great
awesome.
Super Bowl a few years ago. I expect nothing less this
I
year.
would rather them not play Patrick Mahomes. That would be my preference, but you got to beat the best to be the best. So I'm hopeful. I'm excited for this game. Obviously, we're gonna have more updates for you as the week goes by. But yeah, no, it's a really cool feeling to be here and to talk to players that I watch and consume the sport so much about, and get to meet all the writers and the journalists that I've really followed really closely. I got to meet the legend Greg Papa at the Radio Row today. He's a local KNBR 49ers. He called Raider games for a long time. Really great radio personalities. I got to meet him as well today. So shout out to him. So it's been really cool. Not even just the players, just the people that I've been meeting.
One day.
As well. So
That's it.
that's
Day
day
one.
one and a half. One and a half, we'll say.
Okay.
Second night here, like we said. Hope you like our setup in the hotel room. We just kind of jerry rigged together. We pulled lights from different ways and
Got some
We
nice
got
chairs.
Mandalay Bay behind us if we open the curtains here.
Mandalay Bay and
We need a backdrop,
Tropicana.
the future site of the Oakland, soon to be Las Vegas A's is right here. So we got the great view. So stick around. Thanks for joining into our first night of updates from Las Vegas. Hopefully we'll be back with you soon. Thanks to Casey. Thanks to Caleb. Hopefully you'll be back for the next couple nights, boys.
We'll be here.
Well, it's my room too.
That's a great way to end it on. See you tomorrow.